Welcome back, everyone. It's week 3, day number 6. And you can see the stadium is absolutely packed, but not here in Shanghai. Here in Shanghai, we've got ourselves a nice empty venue to get ourselves prepared and ready for LGD versus Invictus Gaming, as LGD in their new home stadium have got to be nice and hyped up. But as we're looking through some of these shots, something that we got to talk about is somebody might be missing from those shots. And we'll leave that to be a mystery until we get to that conversation a little bit later, because Rookie is going to be taking on LGD in just a few moments. But hi, my name is Dom Romer. Joining me here on the broadcast is Clement Chu. So you seem surprised by saying hello.
Yeah. I'm just I was very caught off guard by your hi.
Hello, yeah. Well, there are formal introductions, and then there are the personal introductions. And Clement,
hello, everyone.
This is a safe space. This is our personal space where we get to talk about League of Legends and the things that we want to talk about. So before we actually get to today's matchup, I actually want to talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. There was a game that unfortunately we did not get to cover on the English broadcast, and that was Snake versus OMG. The result of that being that Snake did, spoiler alert, win the series 2-1 against OMG. Why don't you tell me a little about that match?
So Snake do secure their position at the top of the West with this 5-1 victory, and you have to give props to Flandre on Vladimir. He was able to kill Chelly twice in team fights on a single rotation. That really locked the series in for them and leaves a lot of other top laners really afraid of that pick.
Yeah, I mean, that Vladimir is something that's really scary right now, not just in the LPL, but almost overall. 8.2 can't come around soon enough for some of these teams with those slight nerfs to that champion, especially in the itemization. But I'm rambling off over here. We still got to talk about what's going on in the LPL. With that win, that brings Snake to 5-1 in the standings, which we're bringing up for you now. EDG hot on their heels at 4-1, and just behind them is BLG and Team WE at 4-2 and 3-2.
The big things to watch here is today we're going to have our match of the week, EDG and WE. If WE can't secure this one, this will leapfrog them ahead of EDG in the standings.
And that's very important for Team WE if they can manage to pull that off. Of course, EDG going to be looking stoic and trying to prevent that. And then on the other side, you can see Invictus Gaming. They're taking on LGD, already #1 in the group, looking very strong. But LGD, they're only a single loss behind them.
The last matchup for the East today, and between these two teams, we're going to conclude our conference. Can IG stay on top?
Yeah, we'll certainly find out. Here are those matches on your screen for you. LGD versus Invictus Gaming start things off in Hangzhou. FPX versus Vici. Both of them on a bit of a losing streak right now, but hey, one of them will end up being victorious a little bit later on. And then again, our match of the week at 7 p.m. China Standard, 3 a.m. Pacific Standard. WE versus Edward Gaming.
So many hype matchups. We have to look in for that one. Xayah versus Scout, and also iBoy versus
Mystic?
Mystic.
There it is. That's the one that we're looking for.
The two highest CS per minute players there.
Yeah, absolutely going to be a fantastic matchup coming at you later this evening. Of course, we've still got League of Legends to bridge us to that. Look, you don't just go straight to the dessert. You got to start with the main course. And for us, we've actually got a bit of an appetizer to get you ready for that main course. LGD versus Invictus Gaming in our first matchup. Now, before we talk about this matchup, we've got some news to break. Imp is sick. He is not going to be playing today for LGD. He is out. And already that changes the whole context of the conversation, because LGD, they've been on a 3-game win streak for the first time in nearly 2 years. They've been on a win streak. But they're going up against IG, who are on a 4-game win streak.
Yeah, it really is about which team can continue their kind of streak. And just to give you guys a little bit of information about FDY, the truth is we don't actually know much. This will be his debut. He has been a sub since 2017 on LGD roster, but we haven't seen him play. So big question marks over there.
Yeah, you have to imagine that he has something that he can bring to the team. He's, as you said, he's been a sub for them for quite some time, but a lot of eyes are going to be on his performance in the bottom lane and how he pairs up with PYL. Because again, Imp and PYL, they have been the longest standing bottom lane in the LPL, and seeing PYL play with somebody else at this point just kind of feels a little wrong.
Yeah, and we have to say that this will shift their strategy even more into the top lane now that you have a new person kind of playing in that ADC position. And We really like to talk about this top lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the top lane, we have Jinoo, 28% of his team's damage. The Chinese fans have given him the nickname of the Immortal Sword, just because he's so good on that Fiora and that Riven.
8.1, lots of fighters and bruisers sort of duking out in that top lane. Traditionally, we do see tanks fighting up there as well, and it's actually kind of funny. I say the word duking out. I think the Duke connection, TheShy, is his opponent in the top lane.
Oh, and
He
boy, TheShy is undefeated so far on IG, 8 straight victories. Also, one thing he does share with Jinoo, he doesn't play any tanks, so no Maokai and no Shen in that matchup.
Yeah.
Just pure dreams and sparks flying.
Dreams and sparks, exactly that. Here we can see a couple of highlights of TheShy, just showing off why he's been undefeated on that team. This is a special note because in this specific game, Jingdong were actually camping him and ganking him in the top lane, and he still comes up with the triple kill and styles on Jingdong later on.
Able to really play these games with his mechanical edge. 9 kills on this Jace against an Ornn, against that camp coming out from the enemy team. Doesn't matter, still finds a triple kill right here in this replay.
And here TheShy, this is after Invictus Gaming had lost a team fight. He's 1v3, 1 against the world, but hey, he's got the fancy footwork to make it work.
Loses Baron, no problem, comes in, saves the situation with a triple kill, and has enough footsies to go 1v3 for an extended period of time.
Tragically, he does fall at the end, but wastes, as you said, so much of the time of Suning Gaming there that he's able to buy his team an opportunity to get back into the game a little bit later on. But like you said, this top lane matchup, it's TheShy undefeated, 8-0 so far in the LPL 2018 spring. Jinoo, not quite as spectacular on his win-loss record, but this is still going to be a clash of titans.
Definitely. I just want to know what the champion picks are going to be, because they both like the Gangplank, but they both have great counters into it as well. The Riven, obviously, from Jinoo, also dabbles a little bit in the Aatrox. From TheShy, we have his Jace, we have his Camille, a lot of strong power picks to look for in that top lane.
Now hold up, Aatrox. It'll be interesting to see if we have that happening, but LGD, you can already see the roster they're running. Jinoo, Eimy, Yuuki, FDY, and PYL in the bottom lane.
And it's important to note that LGD do have a rotating mid lane. They alternate between Yuuki and also Nanzu, but haven't really decided which person they want to start.
It'll be interesting to see how that changes LGD, what we've seen from them in the past when they've been playing with Imp and Nanju. And of course, their opponents on the other side, Invictus Gaming, they're going to have to change their game plan around a little bit as well, because you have prepared something against Imp and suddenly Imp's not there. How on earth are you going to deal with that? Because it's TheShy, Ning, Rookie, JackeyLove, and Baolan.
We haven't touched on it much, but I do feel like IG are coming in as the heavy favorites just because of Rookie and Ning. That matchup, that duo right there, I feel like crushes it for IG. Against LGD, the way they're doing it right now is if one mid laner loses, they automatically pull him out and they pull the next person in. So far, this has been a huge weakness for the LGD roster. Their mid laner dies very easily to ganks. If you watch a lot of their highlights, that's usually how the game starts to crack open for them. So both of these mid laners a little bit green. Yuuki is the one that I feel like they're kind of putting the hope of the future in. He's more of the rookie compared to Nanzu, so they're trying to grow him up there.
And you can see that the style for LGD somewhat reflects this youth in that mid lane. Traditionally, we're seeing a lot of wave clear coming out of these picks. Ezreal for Imp, who's, again, not here, to keep themselves safe and something self-sufficient. So maybe not as complex a team composition for LGD.
LGD definitely playing more towards that 4-1 type of composition. They want to play a very safe bot lane with the Ezreal on Imp, and then they want to have a lot of wave clear in the mid lane. They've been picking a lot of Taliyah, a lot of Azir, and just wanting to finish the games 4-1 with Jinoo in the top, like they did against TOP.
Well, we'll have to see if that strategy works against the likes of Invictus Gaming on a 4-game win streak, but now on a 4-day casting streak. Matthew Fish, Stewart, and Zach Rusty Pie. Gentlemen, it's all yours.
Well, it's only been 3, Dom, just like LGD's current win record. I'm Matthew Fisher, joining me is Zach Rusty Pie. We're about to take on the first game of today. It's going to be LGD going up against Invictus Gaming, 2 teams that are currently on win streaks.
Yeah, LGD now on a 3-set win streak. Of course, we all know what's going to plague that roster as we get into this set, and I'm sure we'll get into that very shortly. But Invictus Gaming on the other side, yes, a win streak themselves. There is a stark contrast, however, between these win streaks. LGD going to 3 games, every single time, losing game 1 every single time except for 1 set so far in the LPL. They have really struggled to close out any kind of advantages in the first game of their series, whereas IG, always 2-0. Every single set that they have played has been a 2-0 victory. And yes, it hasn't looked that clean for them. Some of them have, some of them have not. But it's always 2 games. It's all it takes for IG.
And the only loss that IG have had so far this split is their opening match against RNG. And it was a 2-1 victory that went over to RNG. Since they brought in TheShy, however, they've been able to pick up multiple 2-0 victories. In fact, that is their winning spree at the moment. LGD, unfortunately, coming into this series, although they are on a win streak, they've also lost their star AD carry of Imp.
Yeah, you'd say crippled fish, unfortunately. Imp does 30% of the team's damage share as well between the 5 members, so a substantial amount of the damage they put out in fights. Also very good at winning lane alongside PYL. So now having FDY here, we don't really know anything about this player. We just know that he's been a sub for about a year, a little bit more. And can he keep up with the likes of Imp? Unlikely, but can he at least get close is what we're hoping.
Let's see what he can do heading into game number 1. Already the bans coming through are Orianna, Jace, as well as Varus. A respect ban of Jace towards TheShy, as Vladimir, Azir, and Ryze are the 3 bans that come out from IG. LGD already picking up their first 3 champions. Zoe, Braum, and Gangplank locked in, whereas we have Kog'Maw and Tahm Kench locked in as the bottom lane duo for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, man, I can't even type this quickly. I'm running out of speed. They're going very quickly through this draft phase. Zoe is the first pick for Yuuki. It seems like they want to put a lot of presence and pressure around the mid lane of LGD, something that can actually help Jinoo when you get to the mid and later stages of the game. And I think that's what we have to look for with this team. And when we go through this draft phase, is can they actually empower Jinoo and Yuuki to be big carries?
We'll have to see if they can be those big carries, Rusty. On top of that, Zoe's just been such a heavy pick globally. Incredibly strong mid lane champion that teams are still letting through in picks and bans phase, and Invictus Gaming seem to have allowed that over for LGD.
I think IG knows something about FDY.
That's a Draven ban comes through. Oh no.
That's exciting. It's not exciting anymore, but it could have been.
It could have been.
Could have been a Draven.
Potentially could still be exciting later on throughout this series. It is a best of 3. But Sejuani was the final pick up in the first draft phase for Invictus Gaming. That'll be heading into the jungle for Ning.
Yeah, actually picking themselves up that Sejuani for Ning. Does kind of have to take the backseat role and be a tank more often now that he's got TheShy instead of Duke there. Of course, as the analyst desk mentioned, Duke plays tanks, TheShy plays carries. But TheShy also has options like Gnar and Cho'Gath if he wants to play a hybrid, a tank that can do damage in some way. I think that may be something that he looks towards up against Jinoo, as he has the Gangplank. I think Gnar should be the pick.
Gnar has not been banned out by LGD either.
Oh,
Let's see what they pick up. Camille left open throughout the draft phase. It's LeBlanc and Karma with the final bans from LGD. Jarvan, the final ban that comes out from Invictus Gaming, does leave Camille open, and it does get picked up for TheShy in the top lane.
Yeah, I actually slept on Camille for a second there. I think the reason they've gone for the Camille here is just quite simply that they already have a tank in the support and the jungle role. They're happy to put him on a hyper carry of some variety, and TheShy has made highlight reels as Camille. He is super clean.
Camille also a very strong pick in the current meta, and was very heavily picked towards not only during the first few weeks of the LPL, but still very commonly banned out against certain teams. Final picks coming out from LGD are going to be Xayah as well as Zach.
For a small second there, I thought there was a Blitzcrank, and I had no idea where it was going, but they swapped to Zach at the last second, and IG finish off their team composition as well.
They're going to be picking up Galio in the mid lane for Rookie, a champion that has been creeping up since week 2 of the LPL. So Invictus Gaming with some very strong picks at the moment. Kog'Maw, Tahm, Kench, Galio is being banned up constantly. Sejuani and Camille as well.
I mean, when you see a Kog'Maw first picked and then a Tahm Kench to follow it immediately after, you know exactly what they're thinking about doing, and that is just empower the Kog'Maw, allow JackeyLove to carry. Rookie is able to take a back seat in Invictus Gaming when they have JackeyLove playing. He said it himself in some videos before, in some interviews. And now that they've got the Kog'Maw, they pick the Galio up, they empower the Kog'Maw, but they also provide a combo through TheShy in the top lane. I think that's why Galio is such a smart pick here in the draft. He can go top side, he can go bottom side. I think all they really need to do to unlock Rookie on this Galio is bring Ning mid once.
He is on Sejuani, a very common pick in the current meta. He is up against, however, a Zoe in the mid lane. And we talked about these strong champions of Gangplank, of Camille, of Tahm Kench Kog'Maw.
Yep.
But Zoe is not someone you can really sleep on, Rusty.
Haha, that was a good one. No, but you're right. You can't actually sleep on Zoe. She does a lot of damage. She is one of those champions that's RNG based though, in certain ways. Like maybe you've controlled the lane very well and she finds a teleport. Maybe you're pushing her in and she finds a proto belt. And suddenly she's equalizing you and she's matching you with pressure around the rift. I think that's where jungle pressure can influence it and make the difference though, which is why I would be looking towards the jungle role to have some kind of say in the matter here. He's up against the Zac, however, so in the jungle 1v1, both very capable at ganking mid lane. I would argue Zac is better at level 5, whereas Sejuani probably matches him at level 6.
Zac has a 79% win rate in the LPL at the moment. The jungler we see from time to time, not heavily prioritized as a pick, but as the go-to tank jungler, you could say, after Sejuani's been picked up or banned away, if the likes of Jarvan or Kha'Zix are not picked up instead.
Which actually stems from an interesting conversation as well as to why would Zac be there as perhaps the best jungle of choice when Sejuani isn't available, right? And a lot of people have been asking, why not Gragas? Why have we not seen a whole lot of Gragas? And I think that the answer to this is ultimately not related to the runes, but more so related to Stopwatch. And I actually think that because of Stopwatch, Gragas, when he hits level 6 and everyone can outplay him, there's a lot less threat that he has to get kills because his cask is slow, it's predictable, and it's timed, and he only gets one of them. Whereas Zac has multiple forms of crowd control. Sejuani has multiple forms of crowd control, and yes, the runes help a lot. They are going to get more damage from those runes and be a little bit more tanky. But I think that's why Gragas doesn't exist and why Zac has kind of taken his place in the meta as the number 2 tank.
And those stopwatches you were talking about, there's 7 in this game alone, 4 for the side of LGD. Only Zac himself not picking up that stopwatch, whereas for IG, Ning, Rookie, and JackeyLove all have 1 apiece. And Minion Dematerializer being picked up by Zoe as well, so Yuuki's going to be trying to focus on keeping Rookie shoved in for this game.
And for what we've seen so far, of course, we know that Dematerializer is used to kill the cannons and try and get some extra lane tempo, but more often than not, a lot of players will use one of the charges, one of the 6 on each respective type of minion to at least have the 4% extra damage increase throughout the game, and then they will focus the rest of them on the cannons to have lane tempo. At level 3, or sorry, on the 3rd wave, when the cannon crashes, you will use the first charge on a cannon, immediately get level 3, and try and all-in your opponent if they don't have wave control.
Could potentially force Rookie back to base early and make him change his heal out for a teleport to get back in the lane, but we'll keep tabs on that mid lane later on in the match. For now, all eyes are on FDY, who has been substituted in for Imp, who is currently sick today. And he is new to the LPL, his debut match against JackeyLove, who is a rookie himself, but there is and was a lot of hype around JackeyLove when he first joined the league.
There's a rookie with some swagger, is JackeyLove. Of course, he'd been in the roster for a while. He's played in Demacia Cups and outside tournaments to just the LPL with the team. So whilst he was a rookie and he's still considered a rookie, we know that he's been in the team before and he's confident playing with them, and that IG is confident playing around him. FDY is an emergency sub. So there is a stark contrast between both of the rookies in the bottom lane. One is known, one is protected. They have a Galio composition for the Kog'Maw to carry. Whereas on the other side of the coin, it's a Braum. They want to try really hard to keep him alive. They want to try and protect the Xayah and give him a better laning phase and just hope that he survives. Because the Xayah can still carry later.
Does get some decent lane priority, but you can already see JackeyLove is happily farming in this bottom lane with the protection of Tahm Kench. Meanwhile, Eimy in the jungle. He did go back to base nice and early, which allowed Ning to sneak into his blue buff, steal that away, and has taken the Gromp camp as well.
Yeah, a lot of the time you'll see Zacs want to do the, or I guess the Condi special at this stage, do the blue buff and the Gromp at the same time to try and be more efficient with your clear. Of course, it puts you at lower health, but it'll prevent Ning from doing anything cheesy like he's just done. Does make you lower though, because Jinoo would have to leash, and perhaps the problem there is that they don't want the Gangplank to be leashing in a Camille lane. He'll lose too much lane control, and from what we're seeing, he's lost enough as it is.
Yeah, already some good trades coming out from TheShy early in the match. Ning is going to get his recall stopped here by Eimy. Just keeping the Sejuani around for a little bit longer.
Eimy is going to get pushed out eventually. He just wanted to get rid of the Scrying Orb.
We see Yuuki changing out his summoner spells as well to teleport so we can get back into the lane against Rookie, who did go back to base but was not forced to change his heal out for a teleport.
No, just chose to walk back. Of course, good lane control from the Galio. A lot of wave clear in the kit will allow him to have some recalls in there if he times it properly. But he has suffered through the CS differential because of the recall. You'll probably miss half of the wave, and Zoe can push very hard, especially when she has a proto belt, which she does.
Zoe being able to pick up those weird items. We've already seen a couple of players get some interesting items out of Zoe. The most infamous one is the Redemption Snipe onto MLXG.
The one that got me yesterday watching the LPL was the Zhonya's. I completely blanked on the fact that you can get a Zhonya's and use it on your W.
You can get a stopwatch as well, which is basically the Zhonya's.
Why not have 2 types of stasis?
But still a very quiet game so far. So TheShy has been putting a lot of pressure onto Jinoo on the top side of the map. He's acquired a CS lead for himself and has constantly kept the Gangplank underneath his turret. Eimy's been kept down a little bit by Ning, and as you'd expect, JackeyLove and Baolan at the bottom lane have been able to shove in FDY and PYL.
This is a tragic start for LGD, honestly, just through the laning phase. You're against the Camille, you're against the Kog'Maw. They want to try and have some pressure, perhaps have the Zac get some ganks off early, but none of that's happening. There's good trades in the mid lane. What we're seeing is JackeyLove winning bottom lane. Top lane was a CS advantage for TheShy. That's kind of expected with a Gangplank matchup, but it's still control of the lane for Camille nonetheless. And now that's starting to be reciprocated through the jungle also, with Ning having a CS advantage. And if mid's even, they'll just tick over to 6 IG, they'll pick a lane, and they'll probably just kill that lane.
We'll have to see which lane they decide to pick later on, because so far, they can take whatever they want, it seems. And Ning's just making sure he keeps control of vision on the top side of the map, taking down Scuttle Crab, putting down a pink ward as well, trying to track Eimy, it seems, and he's found him again doing his gromp.
Still with the level advantage, so can outsmite here.
And will do just that. Amy's just been locked down at the top side of his map. We saw this throughout last year's World Championship and just before the World Championship patch, where Zacs were constantly being locked down, but at the bottom
pressure
lane,
on Jackie.
Good damage to the JackeyLove. Baolan's going to eat him up, make sure that he stays safe. So no Summoner Spells being burnt by either side in that trade.
But a hard-won trade for the side of LGD. The extra health that they have every time Braum hits a Q, they can lock you down. They can follow it with the stuns now, and there is a genuine threat for LGD. And they'll be able to close some of that CS you would expect, but surprise, Unsealed Spellbook. He's going to teleport back to lane, and that's not going to be a thing anymore.
There's a big CS lead, though, for JackeyLove in the bottom lane. 62 CS to 55 at the moment. Unsealed Spellbook does allow him to change the teleport, and Baolan will be able to hold the minion wave as well for the Kog'Maw.
And what could have been 6 CS, perhaps, in advantage. Hang on. That was a Zoe teleport in base. If Zoe wants, she could recall right now. No, not Zoe. Oh, thank God.
Wrong team.
Oh, thank God. I was like, no way, that's so tilting.
It would be. We've seen that happen before, but Ning and Baolan are going to look to try and take red buff for themselves. There was a ward placed down by LGD. Eimy does have the losing smite battle here, but still picks up the red buff for himself.
Has the advantage of being able to control the damage he's putting onto the red buff, which is what helps win the smite battles. They weren't equalizing damage. Eimy controls it, but now another camp's going to be taken away.
Oh, just a few small raptors here. Eimy will still be able to take that for himself. But what we were trying to go to was the fact that Zac has been a jungle that is constantly kept down in Season 7. So seeing the same trend here in Season 8 as Ning has been able to shut him down quite significantly. Still sitting on level 5 and is at about 25 CS behind Sejuani at the moment. Ning moves back in towards his side of the jungle. We'll be able to donate blue buff over to Rookie.
Yeah, the constant pressure that we're seeing out of IG gives them the free blue buffs, gives them the extra CS advantage in the jungle like you mentioned, and sooner or later that will result in not just the jungle camps, but superior vision control, which then leads to the capability of dives and extra advantages slowly being forged by Invictus Gaming.
And as you were talking about earlier, the only lane really that LGD have any form of control at the moment is in that mid lane for Yuuki, but still that's against a Galio who is going to equalize this wave naturally, or this lane naturally I should say. And just from these incremental advantages, IG have about 600 to 700 gold of a lead.
Yeah, they do. Of course, the gold isn't significant. I think a lot of that will be actually owed to the Gangplank, being able to use the Kleptomancy and keep himself up with some extra gold. There's only 6 CS of 1 total wave between them, not including a cannon. And that means that the Gangplank probably has a gold lead.
Still a big minion wave here for TheShy to farm as well, which will crash onto his turret. He hasn't gone back to base in some time. Jinoo has hit 6, or is level 8 now, I should say, and both teleports are available for the top laners. But again, a very quiet match between LGD and IG. And we were already talking about earlier in Champion Select how these two teams are on winning streaks. IG since they brought TheShy in the roster. LGD for the first time in close to 2 years going on a 3-game win streak.
Well, they're going to go for the kill here, I think, Vish.
Finally, there's going to be some action top side of map. Jinoo and TheShy go one-on-one for a bit, but teleport's coming in. First stopwatch being used by the Gangplank as it turns into a full-blown 3-on-3, but Jinoo's in so much trouble. IG will take him down first, looking for the return kill coming onto Camille. Will be picked up by LGD. Yuuki gets that one, but Ning held onto the ultimate for so long. Finally throws it out to lock him down. Rookie flashes forward with the taunt. Yuuki solo, portal jumps, not enough. Eimy goes down as well, looking to get the return kills himself, trying to heal back up, still has his passive. Ning, one more shot, and the stopwatch will stop that turret from taking him down.
He won't be able to get the kill eventually onto Eimy. Unfortunately, PYL's just killed Baolan in the bottom lane as well, and JackeyLove's also gone.
What? That's a double kill on the bottom lane for LGD. FDY stepping up for Imp today, picks up that double kill as well.
And congratulations, LGD, off the back of a lost team fight on the top side. They get 5,000 kills. Compliments of the bottom lane 2v2. But ultimately, we will have to look at what happened in the bottom lane, hopefully later on. On the top side of the map, Eimy comes up pretty clutch to secure them a second kill and play a big part in equalizing that trade. Of course, we get to see this again. FDY, PYL, they're on the wrong side of the map. But they seem to play this very well, of course, saving the ultimate and flashing at the last second.
That
If you
was
said
really
that
well
was
played.
him, I wouldn't be surprised and I would believe you.
That was very well played coming out from FDY. JackeyLove was able to control that laning phase. But we were just talking about the fact that IG have been playing it very passive, taking incremental advantages throughout this game and waiting for that moment to pick a lane and attack. And they did. They picked the top side of the map. But LGD come out clutch to equalize it.
I mean, we also expressed that they have every option in the world, and they're still going to go top.
And we'll be able to lock down Jinoo here. There shouldn't be a way for this Gangplank to get out of that engage as TheShy picks up a kill for himself.
And that's where, of course, you see the class of IG start to come up clutch. They know exactly where they should be going. Summoner spell's not available, stopwatch is not available, and so they can successfully kill the Gangplank with no hesitation, with no problem. But yeah, the equalization on the bottom side of the map is the ultimate concern for Invictus Gaming. They have a Kog'Maw with a CS advantage, so they won't be too miffed by it as an outcome. But it's a bit of hope for LGD, let's say. A bit of confidence, perhaps, for FDY in his first ever on-stage game. And with that confidence, can the balance shift in the mid-game is the question. When the summoners come back up, can they actually stop IG from diving the next big objective?
It was a little bit unfortunate, though, that both kills went over to PYL in that bottom lane engage. But still, LGD are holding on, still equal in gold against IG, who have dictated the flow of this match so far.
Yeah, of course, PYL looks to have gone towards the face of the mountain as well with his
Very
Guardian
early.
build.
Very, very early phase of the mountain pickup coming out from PYL.
That's with the 2 kills, I think he's made the conscious decision to go towards some kind of immediate strength in items.
And FDY, not afraid to step up
actually,
again, gets good damage onto JackeyLove, but when you're in a Tahm Kench lane, you can expect that to happen.
But if PYL keeps hitting these Qs, and they always have kill threat just from Xayah walking forwards aggressively with strength of current itemization is good night, rookie.
And Yuuki's going to get some good damage here, but Galio, being Galio, already has the Abyssal Mask pickup, so he's going to negate a lot of damage that comes out from any magic dealer.
Yeah, one of the strengths of the Galio in this lane is the itemization. Of course, you can be a full tank. For IG, that's all mid lane really needs to be. Don't let Yuuki get 1,000,000 kills. Don't let the Zoe snowball. Kill top lane instead.
TheShy trying to lock down Jinoo, but Galio's going to come up to the top lane as well. Jinoo's still in some trouble, taking good damage, but he tries to turn this one down. TheShy in trouble. One
He's
more
gonna
auto
die.
attack. He will die. Jinoo comes out clutch in the 2-on-1. Even Ning is forced to go onto the top lane to take him down. Meanwhile, bottom side of the map looking for a pick here, and he's going to jump in as well. Zach's going to be able to lock down JackeyLove. There's no Baolan there to save him just yet. Finally, we'll be able to eat him back up, but he is so low, and Yuuki jumps down the bottom lane as well. That's going to be another double kill on the bottom lane.
And LGD suddenly 7-5 in kills. Of course, Eimy dies on the backside from the passive. Have the ability to push the bottom lane out of turret. And they have just turned what was a substitute AD carry into one hell of a game 1.
And the entire story riding behind this match was LGD on the winning streak, but it's not being clean so far, going up against IG, who have looked clean. And then on top of that, Imp falls sick. FDY comes in, but so far, none of this has looked like a problem for them in game number 1.
The only place you'd be looking at it say that could be a problem is topside, but Jinoo gets a kill as well. TheShy makes a big mistake, and now they're looking towards Yuuki.
Should be able to get out there, puts Ning to sleep, and he can't continue chasing the Zoe anymore.
IG just need item spikes. They're waiting for the Guinzu's Rageblade for JackeyLove, and then maybe they'll go towards the bottom side with the Galio. Until then, they're trying very hard to snowball TheShy with Rookie going up there, but TheShy doesn't have his Trinity Force yet either. And so without that damage, without the tankiness as well, because he's rushing AD, they are able to trade on the top side. IG still in complete control of the map, but LGD have a gold lead.
Yeah, 2,000 gold up over IG. IG do get the consolation prize of the Infernal Dragon after LGD were forced back to base. They did get the first turret of the game in the bottom side of the map, and Jinoo looks perfectly fine going up against the TheShy top side of the map now. Has Braum in his back pocket as well as FDY. Good map rotations coming out from LGD here.
Playing around the strengths of their 2v2, if they push TheShy away, they have full awareness that JackeyLove and Baolan are not going to be in the area. They want to trade turrets, but because of how quickly LGD were here, makes you wonder if they're even going to trade turrets at all, or if LGD can threaten too, if they can just do a Herald and get a freebie as well as far as objectives go.
Yeah, that top lane out of turret was taken out incredibly quick. JackeyLove still without his Rage Blade. Will take some time to dish out damage to this turret, but it will fall.
Which takes an awful long time, and JackeyLove and Baolan, I wonder if they recall and switch to teleports even, because they haven't so far. They can't help on the top side of the map. They can't contribute whatsoever. LGD now starting to garner control, starting to push their strengths forward into IG's jungle.
And when Ning dictated the flow of the early game, now LGD, with this advantage they've created on the map, has allowed them to take red buff away from Ning's side of the jungle, also work on this Rift Herald. Sejuani will be able to spot this out by throwing down a ward over the pit.
But LGD know that Ning is there. Do they take the smite battle? I don't...
Oh, you're kidding. That's over the wall.
Hey, I have an idea. Walk the Herald away from the side of the pit.
Potentially something that could have worked. But however, IG still looking for a fight here as the Rookie's going to flash in with the taunt. They lock down PYL. On top of that, the smite steal from Ning allows them to pick up Rift Herald. That goes to JackeyLove.
He'll probably place it straight away on the top side of the map, so it should not matter as to who it goes to. But, well, there we go, Fish. It was looking so good. And then they found a way to give a Herald over by sitting it next to the smite range of Ning. Not pulling it out, not dragging it out. Just letting it sit, and then a kill as well on the back end on PYL. That was actually a shutdown that the Braum gives away, and suddenly IG are back in complete control.
That was an absolute disaster for LGD. And we've seen so many Baron steals in the LPL so far. That was just disrespectful.
I don't know if I call it disrespectful, Fish. I feel like that's a little bit mean to LGD. I'd call it lazy.
Oh no, not even leashing the Rift Herald back further in the pit, just standing right there. Ning didn't have to risk his life for it. Not even forced to charge over, but that does give some gold back to IG. However, the gold lead is still in LGD's favor. This time, however, just 1,000 gold for them. Rage Blade is complete for JackeyLove.
He's got a lot of strength now in the AD carry position. The CS advantage still very much there, and whilst FDY has now got his Brawler gloves and a dagger, he's getting some extra items that makes the Essence Reaver significantly more efficient. He hasn't even completed the Zeal, so he's nowhere near full strength. In fact, I would say the Kog'Maw is stronger in the raw 1v1. That's where PYL on the Braum makes the difference.
Yuuki in this mid lane still, so he's been able to farm up quite a bit. TheShy still looking for these engages against Jinoo. Jinoo's going to miss the barrel there, so doesn't get the damage he needed to take this trade against TheShy.
But Jinoo's winning these trades. TheShy's actually contributing part of his Qs into killing the kegs instead of just auto attacks. And whilst that's by no means a bad thing, when you've got a completed Trinity Force, you want to be using the Qs on hitting him. Trinity Force with the Sheen procs and Q timing on Camille is perfectly intertwined with cooldowns. Instead of doing that, he's using one of them on the kegs, and it denies damage from Jinoo in the trades, but Jinoo stands there and auto-attacks him regardless. And if that's time where a Trinity Force Gangplank's autoing you and you're not autoing him, then Gangplank's winning.
They've been able to lock down Rookie here, can get some good damage onto the Galio, but no sleep coming out from Yuuki means Rookie can walk away from this. Ultimate comes out from Eimy, but doesn't deliver anyone back into the team.
Eimy tried a little bit too hard to hit the ultimate there instead of just using it earlier. They won't get the kill onto Rookie, he dodges the sleep, and that was just pretty much all Rookie saying that I will not die here and being able to survive from mechanics alone.
Well, just touching on Jinoo being able to go one-on-one against TheShy, he's actually a level up over the Camille and has half an item more than TheShy to kick things off. So Gangplank, who scales phenomenally well into the late game, looking good just 19 minutes in this match.
We'll have to continue to explore where TheShy will go with his itemization. However, we can see right now so far with the items from Jinoo that he's going to go towards the base damage build if he gets a Sterix gauge so that it amplifies the damage from the Sheen as well with his base AD. It's a bit more of a defensive route, harder to kill him, and I think that's very good and a smart decision for the 1v1 when it comes to dueling. TheShy, he could go towards the Titanic Hydra, he could go the Ravenous Hydra, he could go Asterix Gauge himself. It all depends on what he really wants to achieve on the map, and I'd probably suggest Asterix to match it.
Well, we can see Jinoo grouping up to try and get into this mid lane as IG have thrown down the Rift Tail. However, Eimy looking for a fight. Taunt comes out nice and early from Rookie, trying to keep him locked down. PYL's going to take some damage as well. Rift Tail will take down the mid lane out of turret, and TheShy jumps in for a team fight, locking down Yuuki in the back lines. He's forced out of this one as Jinoo gets a big barrel. Rookie using his stopwatch. Rift Tail still here as well. PefDY trying to charge this one forward. JackeyLove looking to try and cut this one back. Another stopwatch use. Ultimate comes out, locks him down. Zoe gets that kill. That's 3 kills, 4 kills over towards LGD as only Baolan's left alive, and Jinoo PYL will slowly chase him down as well.
They'll most likely pick this one up at the end. Pretty much a clean team fight here, Fish. Baolan will drop the Jinoo, and they just go straight to the mid lane, continue to push. They may even just say go to the Baron instead. LGD at 20 minutes on the dot in the game, win a team fight, and they try and get a massive lead from this.
They pick up a 3,000 gold lead off the back of that team fight. They're working on taking down the Baron buff as well. Although IG will come back online here, they don't have the teleports to disrupt this. So a massive power swing for LGD after that team fight.
All off one team fight, off one moment where TheShy chooses to engage and just absolutely cooks it for the IG roster. Look at how much health he has on the back end of this fight from FDY using the feathers. Rookie Zonias, but Braum passive still going to persist. TheShy gets locked down, and suddenly TheShy, Ning, JackeyLove, feels like 5 disconnected members of an IG roster are all just left for dead because they engaged poorly.
On top of that, FDY, he didn't have the best laning phase to kickstart his first game in the LPL, but so far his team fights and his skirmishes, they've looked absolutely fine.
He's actually looked perfectly fine. He's looked super clean. Of course, early jitters for level 1 laning is expected. I'd credit a lot of the laning strength, though, to PYL just as much as I would FDY, and playing this lane out excellently. It helps that PYL is a big talker, a big communicator and shot caller for the team. So being put next to him, think of, let's say, iBoy and Mako as an example.
On top of that, must be a big confidence boost for LGD coming into this match.
Oh, yeah.
Losing your AD carry, your main AD carry, up against an currently undefeated IG since they put in TheShy, and starting off game number 1 this strong. They still have to pick up the win first, but they're looking like they're on the right track to do just that.
I mean, LGD have got game 1 jitters. That's been expressed through their current win rate. Every set goes to game 3 for LGD, but they always seem to lose that game number 1. But to come out this strong in game 1 against IG, who have looked pretty shaky themselves, but they always get the W. I mean, perhaps this is a sign of things to come. Can IG actually pull it back together? They're not that far behind as far as gold is expressed right now. If they can slow this Baron down and prevent big damages from occurring, then maybe IG can bounce back.
I mean, we have to remember this was a very similar performance from IG when they played against Suning, where the entire game, they were the ones behind. They were the ones that had the turtle. They lost 3 Barons in one of their matches, but still were able to turtle it out and pick up the win eventually. In this match, LGD, they've got the Baron buff, but for half the time, they haven't been able to do anything but take a Mountain Dragon with it.
And you know, curious for Rookie here, Fish. He used the stopwatch in the last fight. Eimy.
Hang on, Eimy looking for a fight. Locks down JackeyLove with the Q. Gangplank throws down the ultimate as well. JackeyLove will flash away. However, they deliver Baolan to the back lines. He's going to be the first casualty of the team fight as Yuuki picks up that kill, and LGD will break the mid lane out of turret.
I did not expect them to engage that aggressively, but that's just something that Zach's able to provide. Constant attempts at phantom cakes here from Jinoo as well, is able to catch people by surprise. And they are pushing forwards very aggressively now. Power stance on Fish.
And they get the flash out of JackeyLove on top of that, so the next team fight's not going to be as good for the Kog'Maw. Good night. As TheShy takes a paddle start to the face as well, so he is going to be chunked out of this fight, allowing LGD to push forward. Mid lane in a turret gets taken down. JackeyLove, be careful.
Just casually slipped by the minions. Never saw it coming, and suddenly Yuuki was already in his DMs. So much damage onto JackeyLove, and it really does just assert dominance for them. LGD is super far ahead, and now the Zoe is just as much as the bottom lane. The Gangplank is ahead of TheShy on the Camille. Feels like every 1v1 now, all the skirmishes even would go towards LGD. The team fighting probably going to go to LGD as well, unless JackeyLove does something miraculous.
And JackeyLove is very close to that 3-item power spike for Kog'Maw, just looking for his Wit's End to be picked up with the Gwinsu's Rageblade and Hurricane. FDY, he already has his Essence Weaver, has that Phantom Dancing and building towards an Infinity Edge himself.
Right, I've got Time Fish. We're talking about items. Rookie sold his stopwatch and is going towards the Zonjas. So instead of actually keeping the stopwatch and selling his Dark Seal, he's decided to sell the stopwatch and continue to build the Zonjas from scratch. Now, I'm no expert, Fish. My role is just expert on this. But I would probably have kept the stopwatch. Even though it was useless to him effectively, it will reduce the cost of the build, and Dark Seal sells very efficiently. So I'm not too sure why Rookie's gone towards this build. I don't think Dark Seal provides... Honestly, you know what? Even just sell both of them and have wards. I'd be happier.
It's only a 1-stack Dark Seal, which is great for the laning phase, unless he's relying on that Dark Seal to stack up throughout later team fights. A little bit inefficient coming out from Galio.
But he's not a Janna, right? Like, he's going to die in fights, just as the way it works. You will sell your Dark Seal sooner or later. I'm just very confused as to why he's chosen to keep that as a higher priority over the item he's building into and a component within that.
And he already has his Merlinomicon, Abyssal Master, now looking for the Zhonya's Hourglass. So 3 items coming in. Neither AP nor defensive heavy, but he puts the Kog'Maw to sleep. JackeyLove does get eaten up by Baolan, who flashes away to save him from the Zac ultimate. Teleports are coming in from Rookie as well. Good use of ultimate by FDY, gets him back to safety away from the taunt of Galio. LG used the pressure to take down the bottom lane inner turret, and IG can't fight. But Jinoo and TheShy are going one-on-one, locked down by the ultimate. Gangplank can't find a way out, flashes over the wall. Rookie is now going for a full-blown teamfight. TheShy jumps to the back lines, will take down Gangplank to kick things off. Ning still trying to charge forward. Great ultimate coming out from Sejuani, forcing the flash out of PYL. Flash forward for Rookie's going to lock them down with a taunt. Double kill picked up by TheShy. IG fight back.
They find 2 big kills, so they'll be able to defend their base. No concerns for IG anymore. LGD will just have to limp away and fight another day. And that's okay for LGD if you're ever going to lose a fight as timing goes, because the Baron is up in 1 minute and 20 seconds. They'll respawn in time. They'll be able to place their vision down and re-establish themselves along the map. However, IG, by getting those picks, by winning that team fight, they are able to establish control first. They're able to set themselves up and maybe look for that pick. And all of it, once again, starts with the combo that we've seen multiple times in this game. Rookie and TheShy working in tandem, making an arena that a Gangplank can't escape. He has no stopwatch, and then locking him down within that. Rookie also with the flash taunt, able to set TheShy up for his 2nd kill. I would have preferred it went to JackeyLove, but TheShy does need that loving.
Very weird pathing coming out from Jinoo as well to try and cut around the bottom lane jungle there. Especially after LGD were able to assert pressure onto the bottom lane inner turret. Allows IG to pick that fight. They don't get too much out of it. LGD still hold on to just under 5,000 gold of a lead. You can see where that gold is currently taking place. 2,000 in the top lane, 1,000 in the mid lane, and 2,000 in the bottom lane. Or 4,000 in the bottom lane if you include PYL. Yep. Only Eimy is behind by about 1,000 against Ning.
Unsurprisingly, of course, Eimy does find himself behind very often. He gets low gold, he does low damage, he just plays tanks. Think of Eimy, and then think of Ivan, and realize they are the same person.
All he has to do now is play it.
He does. Zac also works. He plays tanks, he wants to help his team carry, and when you've got Imp and PYL running around in the bottom lane, that does make sense. Jinoo, he's playing Gangplank, he's got a very good Rumble, Fiora, that's the kind of player that Jinoo is, so again, for the team's dynamic, jungle has always been a very hard thing to find for LGD. A successful one, I should say, and they have cycled through many, but Eimy seems to be doing the trick currently for them.
And although it's not Imp this game, FDY is slotting in just fine. However, Baolan does get locked down and delivered back into the team. That is the support, and he doesn't even take too much damage, but they found TheShy as well, collapsing onto the Camille. Pops the ultimate to try and stay alive a little bit longer. Fighting on 2 fronts. JackeyLove caught out, trying to cut this one back. Uses the heal nice and early, gets some more movement speed at distance. Ning now jumping in, gets a good lockdown onto 2 targets, but FDY, he's left untouched. Xayah's trying to jump into the backlines now. Rookie going forward. He's the first one to fall for IG, and everyone else is under half health. LGD are still trying to chase through on this one. Battlestar not going to connect, but they disengage. IG low on health. LGD go towards the Baron.
The LGD should walk straight to the pit, and they should do it pretty much straight away. I don't think IG will have the confidence besides Ning to walk over and steal it. Now what we need to see, there's a teleport in from TheShy, is they need to disengage, they need to actually not let Ning steal. Now
And they
go.
do. Good interruption coming out from the Ning, but he goes to sleep. JackeyLove gets tagged by Braum, saved by Baolan for now. FDY trying to jump in, he flashes on top of JackeyLove's head. He gets the kill. Looking for Baolan next as well. LGD open up with 2 more, and they're going to move straight back towards Baron.
FDY's debut game in the LPL, and he is making a statement and a half. He's aggressive, he's going forwards, and there is some confidence, some swagger about the AD carry of LGD. They will get themselves the Baron unless Ning can get in.
Can he do it again? 2,000 hit points, holding on to it. They burst it down, they take it down. Oh no, Sejuani still jumps in. He gets put to sleep and locked down instantly. LGD get Baron and everything else as well.
Too late for Ning, and LGD with the Baron buff. We get to see this again, and it is the FDY show. Braum hits the Q. They have to gobble up JackeyLove, and he knows, very confident with the damage that he's able to deal. I just admire that the confidence is there at all.
Meanwhile, Yuuki tries to go for a one-on-one against TheShy. He uses his Zhonya's, or stopwatch, I should say. However, Camille, too quick, is able to get away from the jungle of LGD. And LGD now, Rusty, 7,000 gold up over IG. They picked up their second Baron. However, in the LPL, IG have shown they can hold off against a 3 Baron team.
Yeah, Baron number 1 is usually control of the map. Baron number 2 is usually game over. But with the state of the map, there is a whole lot of maps still left to cover for LGD. Turrets to destroy for even any chance of game over. So they need to try and reassess and establish themselves. Drakes like this are just consolation prizes. They're just taking it on the way through. They need to set up sideways. We need a Gangplank to be up there, but he doesn't have teleport. They need someone to pressure and prevent any kind of split pushing from TheShy. I think the only way they play this now is if TheShy shows himself because he doesn't have teleport. If Rookie shows himself because he doesn't have teleport as well, then they just rush down mid lane and kill the closest target.
But for now, LGD are just setting up control of the map. We already saw them push out bottom lane, now moving towards the top side of the map. They took an Ocean Dragon for themselves. And again, taking a lot of time with this Baron buff, Rusty. The last time we saw them make a proactive attempt with it was a minute 30 of Baron left. And they've gotten down to about the same time here again, so really taking things slow.
You know, the big thing you want to see from them is Eimy and PYL working together to place vision. If they're on the top side of the map, then Jinoo as well showing respect and coupling together with the rest of them. Right now, he's just sitting in a bush. I think they know he's there.
And they're going to be able to collapse on him, even bringing Baolan down. But he flashes away. It's an
he's
orange.
alive
He
too.
is K. And everyone else, LGD, now looking for the collapse. It's a 4-on-5 on top of that. Rookie is not in this fight just yet.
Oh, they're going.
Going to be forced to use the ultimate again. And JackeyLove is being cornered off from the rest of the team. Flashing in comes Eimy, looking to lock him down even further. JackeyLove falls. Double kill picked up by the Gangplank. And that's the team fight LGD wanted.
That's just squeaky clean from Jinoo as well. He's not caught out of position. LGD know exactly what's happening, and the game plan turns on its head for IG. With the Kog'Maw dead, that's a big part of the composition's damage gone. Galio can't clear these waves against Baron. That's at least the inhibitor.
Yeah, today was the day IG almost caught Captain Jack Jinoo, but LGD continue pushing through. Inhibitors going to fall as well. And with their bottom lane
They're gonna go
dead,
for the end.
LGD push for these Nexus turrets. 3 members strong. IG are trying to defend. Ning is going to fall in this team fight. Eimy picks up that kill. First Nexus turret is going to fall here. It's 7 seconds till JackeyLove is back up, so they push back with just the inhibitor picked up.
Yeah, there's not enough minions to keep pushing that one. They lost the bonus damage that they do to structures, so they have to back away. They respect JackeyLove's damage, even though he's 1 in 5. That is a 3-item Kog'Maw, 3.5 on his way to 4. It doesn't matter how far ahead you are, a 4-item Kog'Maw can win the entire game, but so far for LGD, so good.
And an 11,000 goal lead, Rusty. They have looked good throughout this entire match. A couple of shaky steps here and there, giving away Rift Herald. A few early game skirmishes from IG, but very calm coming out from LGD, who, as you've mentioned, have these game 1 jitters. They've lost so many of the first matches that they've won in the past 3 series.
I'm not surprised that LGD came into the set with jitters, so they should. They're against Invictus Gaming, strong laning players specifically as well, so if you ever see IG winning lanes at the first 5 minutes, you're like, well, that's just because it's IG, honestly. Like, that's no one's surprised ever. But how quickly they turned it around, and it makes you wonder, you know, like, LGD are playing this immaculately, and you have to give credit to them. But how much of it is IG actually misplaying on the execute as well?
And this guy on your screen, FDY. Who is this guy? Because he's looking so good in this match so far for LG, stepping in as their substitute AD carry. As we were told earlier, he has been their substitute for a year now. Been on the bench since 2017. It took 1 day of Imp falling sick against an undefeated IG when they've had TheShy.
Imagine if FDY is Imp just with a new alias. He's wearing like a face mask. He just wanted to be a new confident human.
But he is really stepping up in this match so far, looking really good in the past few team fights especially. And LGD are still going to push through here on the bottom side of the map. They've already taken down the top lane inhibitor. No Baron buff to work with, makes it an easy job for IG to clear out these minion waves.
Yeah, LGD haven't actually set up the mid lane. They're working only on the top lane and the bottom lane. But with a Zoe, with a Gangplank, they put you to sleep.
No.
They kill you pretty much instantly. Baolan needed to gobble him there.
Can't get the paddle start into the back lines, but the Gangplank barrels will still go through, chipping out JackeyLove, sending him back to base. He'll heal back up to 4.
But this will be relentless. Sejuani is super crucial for stopping the Zax's engage. So Sejuani has to stand in front of the carries. But if Ning stands in front of JackeyLove, he'll get put to sleep, he'll get chunked out, and he'll lose. There's a very delicate fight that they need to play out here when they defend this structure.
To give props to Ning, though, he has done a good job of stopping Eimy with his initiations. However, super minions are crashing into the base of IG, sending Galio back to deal with it. Ning will get put to sleep as well, so that gives them some time to continue pushing, clearing out these minion waves, waiting for their own to spawn.
And they sent Rookie to deal with the wave. He's about to be out of mana, so he has to recall, and now 2 people are in base from the side of IG. TheShy is the one left defending. I mean, LGD will just push for this turret if they wanted now.
Going to try. Sleepy Trouble Bubble puts Baolan to sleep. They get some chip damage on the turret, but really good hold coming out from IG.
You ever seen a Tahm Kench fall asleep with his tongue at full extension?
Oh no.
That was great. I want to see more of that.
But LGD don't manage to push down the bottom lane turret. Just some chip damage here, Rusty. So we should get to see more of that later on when they go for another push.
Well, the reason that they would go for this is, again, Baron in 35 seconds this time. We've crested over to 35 minutes. Team WE's time in the game, of course, they're not in this one. But IG with the composition reminiscent of that, of course, may find that one team fight. I do think a lot of this game, whilst it's a substantial lead for LGD, I think it still hinges on this next Baron play and how LGD play around it. Are they experienced enough? I know some of them are, but are they experienced enough to set up proper vision to actually push away Invictus Gaming, or can Ning slip in there? Actually look for a Baron steal. Can IG look for a team fight? Do they get a pick around it? All of these things we'll have to see as the Baron spawns.
Well, Ning's already been able to take away 1 Rift Herald, and now JackeyLove has 5 items on his Kog'Maw. However, he is still up against a 6-item Xayah on the side of FDY. As LGD, we're trying to posture for a fight. They're tagging Baolan with the Winter's Bite.
They're very clearly looking for a fight before they look towards the Baron. They know that just doing the Baron is a big risk. They may make some cute plays, like there might be a time where Jinoo and Eimy go for it as a 2-man, but number 1 priority is fighting.
His ultimate comes out from PYL, forces the flash away from Baolan, but Eimy looking for the initiation.
Jackie's
JackeyLove,
gone.
he's already flashed. He gets taken down instantly. FDY is fairly low, but has flash and heal to keep himself alive from the Acathian surprise. IG lose their AD carry, and TheShy gets chunked out as well.
And they're just going to go towards the Elder Dragon as well, LGD. I really like this play. They're closer to the Elder, and there's no vision from IG available around the area. Everywhere that IG is set up is next to the Baron, so they'll get this completely for free. Without JackeyLove, no chance of a trade. They'll go to Elder, walk straight to Baron afterwards, you'd have to imagine. And now no one can team fight LGD.
JackeyLove caught completely out of position. We've talked about Jinoo so much in this game. We've talked about the newcomer of FDY and Yuuki, who are FDY, the newcomer, as well as Yuuki in the mid lane, who has been doing so well. But PYL and Eimy have constantly kept JackeyLove locked down in this match.
Here.
He's looking to try and see if he can go for the steal, holding onto the Baron buff, but they do get the smite. This time Ning will be able to flash back out. He tried his best, but it's not enough.
He did time it better this time. Ning was close to having an opportunity getting in there for the steal, but LGD now have an Elder Dragon, they now have a Baron buff, they've got all of the items that a team could want, and they are completely poised to try and close this game out. They just need to set up those side waves again, and they're struggling to do that at the moment.
However, as we've mentioned, IG really good at playing the turtle defense game. 12,000 gold down, however, against a Baron buff, against an Elder Dragon. It's not an easy task for Invictus Gaming.
Oh no. Of course, whilst it's not an easy task, they still have the comp that makes it a little bit easier. JackeyLove is still the crux of it. He's been caught out of position, he has no flash. And LGD should be very aware of the fact that he doesn't have flash.
6-item Gangplank, 6-item Xayah. Even Yuuki picking up the components of his final item. Adaptive Helm coming out for PYL. He is a massive tank for LGD at the moment.
He certainly is, and a lot of it's just the magic resistance. Adaptive Helm is such a good item into Kog'Maw as well.
Eimy has 4,500 health. Oh no, JackeyLove goes to sleep again. Baolan's going to be forced to save him.
It's alright, everyone gets one. You can fall asleep once and Tahm Kench will keep you alive, but the second time you die, Fish.
Ning actually looking to see if he can go for a very
They have
deep
teleport
flank.
wards as well. Rookie doesn't have his teleport anymore. He's swapped to Exhaust late game from teleport, but TheShy does. Ning, I think that wasn't actually a deep flank. That was a warding...
Warding adventure.
Yeah, whatever it is. He placed wards deep. That was his goal.
So no teleport available for Rookie, swapped out for Exhaust, but TheShy still has his. However, LGD just pushed through towards the inhibitor. They take down the inhibitor turret. JackeyLove gets sniped down again from Yuuki, forcing him back to base once more. Mid lane inhibitor goes down. They move towards top lane.
And bottom slow pushing. LGD have played this one out perfectly. They just wait, they poke, they work around Zoe with an Elder Dragon, and now they get to have super minions pushing in 2 of the 3 lanes. IG kind of racing against the clock here, but because Jinoo teleports.
They saw Jinoo go back to base, and they know they can cut off a 4-member squad of LGD, but Ning is the one that gets locked down first and spots it out by LGD, so they don't make that play happen.
And Jinoo teleported immediately as well with no hesitation. He's going bottom lane. They want to set up the wave and make a push quickly.
Oh, he sold his boots as well, Rusty. Jinoo has 6 completed items with no boots. LGD looking to try and push for that final inhibitor turret. Ning's going to take some damage. IG are still holding on. 2 inhibitors down against a Baron buff. Elder Dragon has worn off for LGD, however. And 44 seconds left for LG to play with this buff.
1 wave to push with. PYL's catching the wave as well. If it's a cannon, then they have the chance to push. Alright, now IG are praying to the Kog'Maw gods, to the JackeyLove gods. Ooh. Oh my god.
Big damage coming out onto the jungler.
They're going.
As they do see TheShy jump in to get the good damage in the backlines onto Yuuki. As JackeyLove still inside the base, looking to do what he can.
That's one
Yuuki
dead.
is going to fall. IG pick up the first kill of the team fight. TheShy is very low, pops his stopwatch and goes into stasis. Now we'll drop to the Guardian Angel. JackeyLove, the Kog'Maw has been left untouched. He's going to drop down Jinoo. FDY trying to cut this one back out. Ning now charging the backlines. Jinoo's going to flash away. PYL, the big Braum, the big tank, is going to hold up the front lines. He needs to put up that door. They lock down JackeyLove again, but he gets saved by Baolan one more time. 4 on 3 to reset this fight. They break the bottom lane inhibitor turret. They move towards the inhibitor, and there goes Eimy jumping in. JackeyLove's been locked down. He can't get slammed back in though. Finally finds him, and FDY into the back lines will take him down. Baolan's his next target, and LGD pick up the team fight.
Big plays. Game should be over here. An easy victory in the end for LGD.
LGD take it slow, they take it steady, and FDY steps up huge. 10, 0, and 12. He takes down the Nexus, and LGD take game number 1.
What a story for FDY to come in and replace him. To have a game 1 victory against IG, and not just to win, but to be 10, 0, and 12 at that. What a performance.
And they deliver TheShy's first loss with Invictus Gaming as well, ending that win streak, but still a best of 3 series. IG can always go back to the drawing board and figure out what they have to do next.
A win streak does end, but the chance still continues for IG to have the win streak for sets, just not JackeyLove as the individual. And there is a lot to reassess if you're Invictus Gaming when you hit that drawing board. We have not seen successful Kog'Maws in the LPL. I think with this game it puts them at like 4 and 16 as Kog'Maw's win rate in the league, which is abysmal.
48,000 damage coming out for JackeyLove as well, but it just was not enough. And everyone from LGD looked solid in that match, from the tanks of Eimy and PYL constantly locking down the Kog'Maw, to FDY and Yuuki on the carries, to Jinoo holding his own against TheShy, and coming out big with the Gangplank in the end.
And that's the place that I'd be looking as well. All of the utilities of LGD, like yes, Jinoo did the damage, FDY's scoreboard looked fantastic, he did a lot of damage himself and was able to put in that work, but without the Braum Qs connecting, without Zach engaging, that game would have not even have been as close as it was to that successful for LGD, and I do think that's where the utilities came up super clutch. I know that they won't get the MVP, you'd still be giving it to FDY, and deserving it that of course, but very well done from Eimy and PYL on LGD.
Yep, FDY stepping up for a sick imp, picking up a 10-0-12 Xayah match in his first ever game in the LPL. For now though, to break down that series a little bit more, so to break down that game a little bit more, let's send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you so much, Fish and Rusty. And you heard it from the guys. FDY coming in for a sick imp in his debut game, going 10-0 and 12.
I know JackeyLove loves talking about new blood taking over the throne, but maybe he wasn't referring to himself because FDY out of nowhere just crashes that lane.
So let's get into this. You can see the draft on your screen right now. While we were talking about the draft, Clement, we were looking at this, and there was a phrase that we used specifically when we got to the end of it where we leaned back and said, IG, they've actually got the perfect draft here.
Yeah, if you look at that composition, it's the Protect the Kog'Maw composition. Which champion would you actually take out of that draft? And you're looking at it and you're going like, actually, that's just a perfect draft. That's, you know, perfect shell, perfect composition. And we felt like IG were going to come out very, very strong going into the game. And for the first few minutes, that was exactly what happened. We saw 6 minutes already. Ning was 6 camps ahead of Eimy.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, this game's pretty much over.
That jungle pathing, I mean, maybe he knew something that we didn't. Maybe they've been scrimming against Invictus Gaming, and they've done like a level 2 gank, so he decided to go for a full clear red side. But it just looked so weird to see Eimy do a full clear red side and recall, then walk to his blue buff. Oh no, it's been stolen.
Yeah, that was abysmal. And we have to talk about the points where IG really lost their games. And I harped on this a lot in their debut against RNG. And my biggest problem with IG is that they try to play 2 sides of the map at once. They try to play the top and they try to play the bottom. You cannot find a single clip where JackeyLove stays behind his turret and says, okay, we're making a play top side. We should not be in the lane. We should hold back. And this is their problem this game. They went for a 2v1 dive in the top lane. They traded 1v1, and then there's an obvious 4v2 coming from LGD to the bot side. And where is JackeyLove and where is Baolan? They're in the middle of the lane.
Yeah, still overextending, pushing the wave in, saying, hey, I'm Kog'Maw versus Xayah. I outtrade you, except there's also a Braum in the equation.
Yeah, there's a Braum and there's a Zac and the Zoe coming into your lane. And that's the problem with IG. They're not able to like play defensive and understand they can only play 1 point on the map at the same time. And if you look at this game, there's that turning play where very props to Jinoo, he outplayed. And the second big play was when IG overstepped their boundaries into that second turret mid.
Yeah.
So when you look at this game in total, I feel like even though LGD played well, props to FDY, most of it does snowball off of bad LGD play.
Well, we'll have to see if that's going to be the case. But FDY, as
bad
you said,
IG play, sorry.
IG play, the props to FDY. He's going to take our man of the match for this game against Invictus Gaming. First time on the professional stage. He goes 10-0 and 12, 32% of his team's damage.
And he does that against the most hyped AD carry coming into the LPL ever.
Yeah. It's been years that we've been hyping up JackeyLove. Invictus Gaming have been trying to encourage him, scrimming with the team, trying to play with him as much as they possibly can. Even in the Demacia Cups, they've been playing with him. And then he loses to a first-time sub on LGD, of all teams.
Unknown player comes down and delivers the smackdown. 10-0-12. The play I liked the most was that flash into the brush blind against the Kog'Maw and the Tahm Kench just to get that E, the blade collar on both of them and finish that teamfight off.
That was a really hype play. There was a moment where if you kind of turned off the nameplates, you could see maybe a little shadow of Imp in the background there.
It definitely rubbed off on
him. Who needs warts when you just use yourself for vision, right? But still, we've got to talk about the fact that JackeyLove and Baolan are still making these hyphy plays, especially considering the knowledge that Invictus Gaming, they're trying a new style here in 2018. Rookie is stepping back from being a hyper carry. He doesn't want to be that one guy. He's relying on TheShy. He's relying on JackeyLove. But one of them is letting him down.
Yeah, and this is the problem I feel that I feel like IG is actually better playing solely around their bot lane because TheShy is good at kind of dodging these ganks. You could see the gank coming in from LG not working on him, but that can't be said for JackeyLove. I feel like JackeyLove is pretty much one track in his mindset and he wants to win lane. When that doesn't happen, he starts making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to learn how to branch his mentality a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break while we get ready for game number 2 between LGD and Invictus Gaming.